because yeah, I really want to play on Daybreak more often. I'm like, all right, Red, we'll make it happen, I guess. And then we figured out the schedule and realized that he played like in Tomb Valley like 3 times as the start map. We're like, wait, that's not right. And he didn't play on Daybreak at all. So eventually we fixed the schedule, and eventually all 7 maps were cycled correct. Daybreak is one of the 7 maps.
They're all Daybreak for him.
Yeah, Daybreak every single day for Red. It's like, huh, week 1, Daybreak. Week 2, Daybreak. That reminds me of this song I heard, Andre, where it's like Monday to the club, Tuesday to the club. It's like Wednesday, I woke up, didn't want to go to the club. Then my friends called me, and I went to the club. This is an actual song.
What?
You never heard that?
No, no.
Oh.
I'm really out of touch with the music.
It was like some kind of house dance music. I never really remembered who sang that. But I do remember these 2 players and the struggle they're having on the Daybreak. In the bottom left, we have Lowely going for an 11 pool?
Yep, 11 pool.
Okay. And in the top right, we have Mana, who played very well last game in sort of I would say more of like a chess style, just like one move at a time, one move, focus on this one thing instead of trying to all go for a huge rush. Whirlwind saw a lot of 2-base timings, as we saw between Huck versus Red. But Mana instead choosing to go for a slow pace style spoon Protoss.
You know, it's very difficult to actually prepare for someone like Mana because you know what you're expecting. You know that it's going to be, you know, just macro games. They're going to play it very long. And it doesn't matter how abusive you're going to be. You can always expect to go to a 200-200 versus 200-200 army. And it comes down to, can you control better than Mana? That's so difficult because that's all he prepares. Like, the majority of his hours is actually dedicated to just preparing micro versus micro 200-200 battles.
Yeah, and I remember Morrow made this micro tournament map, right? I bet Mana plays that like all day. Just sits there like, all right, who's next? He's like talking to everyone who was on Mouse Sports at the time, because like Thor's you up. I was like, no, man.
No, he was probably like 20 Stalkers versus 20 Stalkers. When is this ever gonna happen? Why don't I have
That's
4
true.
Colossus?
I remember that map set up the most ridiculous scenarios. It's like, when will I ever have 2 Vikings against 6 Colossus with like 50 Marauders? Like, whoa, wait. I think I could have macroed a little bit different than that. But that was when like StarCraft 2 was first coming out and people didn't know hypothetical situations. It was really funny though. I remember playing that map.
But still, a little bit of tomfoolery in this beginning phase. You can see that Mana is walling off very nicely. You can see the pylon is blocking everything off. He's surely going to cancel that. And don't call me Shirley.
I think I did watch that movie. I don't remember, but it was a very, very long time ago. Or was it a TV show? That's right. That's right. My producer just reminded me. Andre, I mean, Mana held off this 11 pool very nicely and really calmly. You know, there is a new micro trainer out. It's called like Dark Lane's micro trainer. It's actually not that new, but you set up yourself in scenarios like this. I think there's one level where like 40 roaches come at you and you have to defend with like 3 sentries and 3 cannons. And it's actually really fun because there's some Zerg and some Speedlings coming as well. And
that's messed up, man.
Constant crisis management. It's really cool.
I think that would be actually the coolest map to actually play.
Yeah, I'll show you afterwards.
Please do.
And then there's like another scenario where like use 1 Reaper to kill 2 roaches. Like, okay, this will never happen. Like, this isn't Blistering Sands anymore, man.
Not only that, I mean, a lot of the micro things. This is my rule of thumb. If you're microing for more than 10 seconds, something is wrong.
Right, because I mean, how are you realistically going to be able to do it?
Exactly. I mean, unless you're actually playing on, you know, like you literally have 1 Stalker and they have 2 Zealots left. And you or 4 Zealots
like
left.
Like Naniwa versus Huck.
Exactly.
Where it was like a Zealot and 2 probes against a Stalker.
And think about how often that happens. Probably 0.5%, maybe even less than that, 0.5% of all your games. So you're training something to help 0.5% of your games. It really doesn't help. So don't do it, guys. Just don't do it. Prepare for the regular stuff.
No, I mean, yeah, I do agree to a certain extent. A lot of people's problems lay within macro, not necessarily within micro. But at this kind of level, man, when you play Lowly style, when you play Mana style, micro is very important. And Mana's control, his micro with Stargate units, was actually pretty good last game. I liked it a lot. Picking off the queens and being able to territorially zone off different units. Even picking off an Infestor with, as soon as they pop, normally you lose your Stargate units at that point. Mana killed some. So
how does that happen?
Yeah.
I think that was a little bit weird from Lowly, but Again, as we were talking about, 4 gases to his name. You can see a Baneling Nest coming up here, going to lair before you even take a third base. Normally you see 4 minutes.
So cool.
4 minutes and the third base is taken. This is 7 minutes and the third base is still not taken. I've tried to do this style a lot.
Like a Demaga Zergling Baneling style?
Yeah.
Except he goes Baneling Nest before upgrades.
You know what actually I think beats this? I shouldn't say beats it, but do you know what deals with it the best?
Strong against it?
Hallucination. I know that's really weird.
That'd be really cool, right? Like to absorb the Baneling hits? Or
No, no, no. It's not to absorb the Baneling hits, but that is an awesome idea, Frodan. Just to always have scout in your opponent, to see what they're going and when the third base timings are. Because what you end up doing when you get such a fast lair is that you have a lot of options. You can go into Spire Tech, you can go into Infestor Tech, you can go into Roach Tech, you can go into Drop Tech. And to continuously just spot out, seeing where gas allocation is, seeing what you're capable of, if the infestation pit is up, when it's up, will actually give you the right indicators to get your third base. Because really, how you beat this type of style, you're not going to kill them with an all-in, you're going to get economy over your opponent. And if you can establish that third base sooner than your opponents, or at a good time relative to your opponents, you will be ahead. Now, it's still tough, don't get me wrong, but I feel like that is the absolute safest way to defeat a style like Lowely's.
Well, we'll see how things go, whether or not Lowely even will push out or whatnot. It just seems so interesting that he got all this early tech out, like the Baneling Nest this early, but there's no real push attempt. I mean, even if he knows his opponent's teching. So the push would come at like 11, right? 10 to 11 minutes, if he's even going for like a 2-base immortal or something kind.
Yeah.
But he's getting all of these tech out before expanding. It's so weird, but at the same time, that's kind of like what Mana did. He went for the Colossus and then expanded, and now he's got Infestors popping out that'll have a lot of energy.
The Baneling Nest is to defend against 8-gate all-ins. That's all.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a nice, secure way of doing it. Now, I have seen people just use Zerglings and Spine Crawlers, which is absolutely insane to me. You can actually defend with just Zerglings and Spine Crawlers. But I think, you know, if you are going tech like this, you actually go something like a Baneling Nest. It's very minor. I don't know for sure. I know there's this guy that actually came up with strategies on how to defeat any all-in. And he said Banelings are the way to do it against Immortals. I'm not thoroughly convinced that's true.
Man, I guess if hypothetically you have enough Banelings, you can kill anything.
You can kill anything. Right? It's like Thor's Nesty style, man.
It's like, well, how can you kill like an army of Mothership, Carrier, Void Ray, Phoenix, Tempest, Oracles, which aren't even in game yet? Like, well, just kill all their buildings with Banelings.
Of course, Banelings, bro.
Like, just destroy all their buildings and you instantly win the game. It's like, oh, all right, now you're just trolling me.
But that being said, Mana is doing everything right. I think actually, if I want to actually characterize the game, I would say Mana is ahead economically. Even though that sounds weird, both of them are tech savvy. But the fact of the matter is, Zerg requires a better economy than your opponent. You can't finesse a Protoss all the time. Yes, a lot of the times the early pushes, they can be finessed. You can get that perfect composition, whether it be Infestors, Banelings, Zerglings, Roaches, whatever it might be, you can finesse that. But when you get into the later stages, that does not exist. And when you do not have the remax potential after the first 200, you're looking to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Lowely is making a lot of spine calls again in case the 2-base push was coming, because I mean that's normally a good time, 12-minute poke. But he's completely safe, and now he's rejoining back up. Meanwhile, Mana's been probing up this entire time. 60 probes on 2-base before he's even finished the transfer. So he's his economy is going to be in a very, very good condition, like you said. I want to emphasize that even though it might seem like Mana's been gaining advantages, Lowely's been playing very well. Even before coming to this match, he's been on a 6-series winning streak against Protoss, even going back beyond WCS when he played against Baby Knight. So Lowely's been playing some of the best StarCraft recently. And I think with Infestors out and Spine Crawlers, you can hold off a lot of stuff if Protoss is careless.
Well, we saw that with Zenio versus Naniwa. And Naniwa is not a careless player, let me tell you. Yesterday, that was an amazing game on Entombed Valley. If you haven't already, check it out. It's absolutely fantastic.
No, it was pretty good game.
But we saw probably around 40 to 50 Spine Crawlers from Zenio, holding off a Colossus, Immortal, you know, Blinkstalker, Zealot, Sentry push. And it was the coolest thing ever because Naniwa at one point looked like he was going to break his opponent. And it was really, really cool. But inevitably, Zenio was able to really hold on. And it's all because of the reinforcement wave, which really Lowely doesn't have the capabilities of doing.
Yeah. Lowely doesn't really have that big of a bank. You might say that, yeah, he's got 1,500, 1,400, but he hasn't even really made any real direct answer to the Colossus yet. He's got his Greater Spire morphing and a Clever Club on the way. There it is. And as soon as this first army he's dealt with, it's going to be tough for him to make any more units because Mana is almost on equal economy at this point, if not even slightly better.
Yep. And oh, might be a suicide blink. Oh. Nicely done, taking out 2 infestors. If he can get 4, that would be beautiful. 5. Oh, he gets 5. Wow, that is almost game ending right there, Frodan.
There's only 2 infestors left. It's
that. I think that's game ending.
That hurts. That's crippling. That's a good gut punch, Andre.
Oh.
Lowely is gasping for air at this point because those 5 infestors represent so much. They had a lot of energy stockpiled. I mean, you can see the 2 that remain are almost at full energy, if not already at full energy.
Yeah.
And that should be 5 more infestors that are full energy because he went 2-base tech before going for the 3rd base. Spine crawlers are already rooted, but there's nothing really to reinforce. Corruptors are going in before the infestor's able to do anything.
Oh, nicely done, actually segmenting the Zerglings a little bit longer so the Stalkers won't actually focus on those Zerglings, instead focus on the Corruptors, but still there's just too many Corruptors. He's going to take out all of these Colossus. But is it going to be enough? Now look at this, there are 4 fungals here. It looks like it might be enough, but another reinforcement wave is coming in here. But what if he had 10 more fungals, Frodan?
Yeah,
that's how many fungals he lost with that infestor versus Stalker play.
And Mana does finish up Colossus 3 just after the battle has concluded, really. And 1 reinforcing Colossus is going to get immediately surrounded. Lowly having a huge influx of Zerglings again while getting +3/+3. Mana has to kind of fall back in this position because he did get caught by those fungals and in the end was not able to protect the Colossus. Good surround by Lowely to kind of salvage the situation. And in the end, Mana doesn't really have that much units. He's got a few Zealots, a few Stalkers, and a Zealot and a Colossus about to pop out. But he also doesn't really have a huge answer if Lowely decided to just go for a massive run by. But Lowely backs off.
The position is a little bit misleading. 180 supply to 110. Mana isn't nearly as behind as you might think. Yes, he did actually lose a lot from that trail end of the last engagement, and I feel like that actually put him behind, else he would have been ahead, killing all those infestors and taking out, for the most part, most of those corruptors. But it's misleading because, again, Lowely doesn't have that bank to really power off of. He doesn't have that bank to actually recoil and try to do some damage directly after this. So you're going to have another sitting phase. And this sitting phase actually hurts Lowely so much because this is where Mana says, I can make the perfect composition because you haven't been massing up in a ton of gas. I know your Corruptor count is limited. That's why my Stalker count is going to be a little bit higher than normal. And last but not least, I'll be able to get my 4th base. When 4-base Protoss starts to work, that's where they actually get options. They get the ability to do a lot of attacks that aren't all in anymore.
And when those attacks just start working less and less, you can see them once and shift. But until then, I guess both players just can be really passive. 4th base, a very important base for Protoss and Zerg to hold. You can see Lowely making a lot of spine crawlers, not just in the center, but also towards the northwest. Doesn't want to run by any kind. Mana also has a War Prism out finally to start harassing. A 2nd War Prism on the way. I love that. 20 more drones on the way for Lowely as well when he's already at 80.
This is Gretorp style.
100+ drones, and that's a lot of spine crawlers that's available to him.
Yes, sir.
Love the Spore crawlers in the main as well, Andre, making sure that War Prism is going to be held back. But a massive warp into the main anyways, despite the Spore crawler.
Frodan, spine crawlers are probably my favorite unit in the Zerg race. I kid you not.
Pretty sick. You see that thing where it's like a spine crawler was on Facebook and it said spine crawler is poked you?
Yeah, that's awesome. Infestors!
All of them are right there. Just catch the War Prism. Oh. Like, it's not worth it, man. Just bad. That one infestor was like, let me at the War Prism. And then the 4 infestors like holding him back. It's like, he's not worth it, bro.
That guy,
just let him go.
That last infestor was trying to start a bro fight,
It's a bro fight, man, at a party. And the War Prism's like starting up stuff, warping in Zealots. And the infestor's like, I don't like this guy.
Hold me back, guys. Hold me back. Hold me back. They held him back.
Yeah, they did. Infestor backed off, but the Corruptors will deal with it. In this case, the Corruptors are the police, breaking up the fights.
In New Jersey, we call them the Popo.
That's right. And you can see Mana's also just getting his mothership out. Now he has to wait for energy. So these stages of the War Prism Harass has bought him more than enough time, even though he hasn't been impactful.
So you can see the effects of that early game push. Even though it looks like Lowely was so far ahead, normally there is a push when your Zerg designed to hit right before they get Mothership. Now that Mothership is out, this is really difficult for Lowely to actually engage. Mana will most likely have the advantage going into this late game stage, and it's because the synergy. You have all of this gas banked up. Think 21 minutes, and maybe 6 of those minutes, there was all this gas banked up in this single army. That means Archons, that means Colossus, a lot of Stalkers, your Mothership. All of these things don't normally exist at the super late game stages. When you already trade, you don't have that much synergy as Protoss. You know, you have to remake the Mothership. You have to remake some Colossus. That means you're going to be a little Stalker light. You're going to be a little Archon light. Or if you make Archons like last game, you don't have Colossus. That means your Zerglings aren't necessarily empowered, but they can do a little bit more than Colossus.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean too. Just one thing empowers another thing. It's kind of a chain reaction.
Yeah.
If you leave one place, if you're strong in one area, it enables you to do other things, especially if it comes to spellcasters or really big AoE units like Infestors, High Templars, Archons. But one thing I do like from Lowely is his upgrades again, getting the +2 air carrier pace, getting Ventral Sacks as well. Is he going to throw in some Banelings again?
I would love Banelings. I would love really Zergling drops in the top right-hand corner.
Throwing Banelings into a Vortex would be really cool with Infested Terran.
Just everything pops, boom! Yeah. It's like a nuke, man.
It would be. Dropping a nuke and a Baneling nest. Exactly. Or sorry, Banelings into a Vortex.
It's like a nuke.
That's what I did in team game once.
But instead of actually nuking and it only costing 100, it costs like 1,000.
Right. Not bad, but you get to look cool while doing it.
Yeah, that's true. You get a highlight reel. I will put that in top 10, man.
Well, we might see a top 10 play worthy coming up here. Mana sending his High Templars out. A big storm. Whoa! Massive damage on all of those Brood Lords already. Almost like 40% of their health got taken out by that one storm. And that just means less Archons have to get into the fray. So that's really a big move again. Mana using that War Prism to stop for time. He's going to get a Vortex off. He does! The Vortex pops. Now Mana is also being able to control a little bit more space. Infestors can keep the Archons from going in, but he doesn't get the fungal off in time. Mana also going for a second Vortex.
Big Vortex.
Big money, big money, big money.
Yes, there it is. And you're going to see everything pop out, and Mana is going to just crush this. Frodan, there's just too many Archons, too much stuff here. You can see the first wave is going to be taken out. Now, Lowely is going to respond to this by actually making a lot of Infested Terrans. That is absolutely correct. When it comes down to it, Mana is so much more efficient than his opponent.
Well, now one thing, Andre, was that Lowely did neuro the Mothership, and Mana couldn't push in to get the second Vortex to use the Archon. So that was actually a really good salvage, but a huge blink. The fungal does keep the Stalkers in place. They do snipe 3-4 Brood Lords, but Mana's also losing a lot. So very nice struggle, and these Spine Crawlers have been champions, man. The fact that Lowely's been able to move them forward ever so slowly and great timing as well, spreading the creep too. This is a very underemphasized thing in TVP, especially late game, but spreading your creep, covering the north and the southern paths, Andre. Look at that top center. Just look at it.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Something I would love from Mana, in this situation, I mean, a lot of times both players are actually struggling with gas, and that's when your Zealots are actually empowered. So actually have 2 Warp Prisms going to the top middle, or in the bottom middle. And what that's going to do is allow you to trade out Zealots for Zerglings, and most of the time you're going to be very cost efficient. If you can take out a critical tech structure, obviously you're super far ahead. Wow, look at how many Infestors are up. So Lowely, this is a really, really huge count of Infestors. I think he's overdone it a little bit for this army.
25 Infestors.
I normally don't keep them all together, though, if I'm going to do that, because really the effectiveness of 25 together really isn't going to do that well. Instead, go 2 waves and have your Infestors really fresh. So I'd like to split up 13 and 12. But regardless, I mean, it's something very... Actually, it's not minor. It's not minor at all. But
now you can see why Zergs like this map, being able to have long distances, but eventually effectively shorten the distance through a push down the center with Spine Crawlers. This is just a really hard position for Mana to do anything. Zergling's running by in the bottom right as well. as Mana does lose the center expansion. This is a tough situation for Mana. His engagements have not been going that favorably to him.
Oh, wow.
And Lowely's cleaning up a lot of these probes here.
Yeah, Mana's pushing in here. A little bit weird that he's doing this, and he gave up his bottom right base. I don't know what Mana's doing. He just didn't see these Zerglings or something?
Yeah, he's had a lot of ample time to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zerglings are going to get the Nexus. Oh, my goodness.
Nope, they don't. Oh. You liar, Frodan. Frodan, you
6
liar.
HP. Oh.
I mean, honestly, obviously, Zerg should have done that. Oh, hero Zergling! Yeah!
Man, that one he should burrow just for the heck of it.
Could you even imagine being that Zergling, man? Be like, oh man, there's this huge
did
fortress.
My burning build down?
There's this huge fortress. Got it!
Yeah. It's one of those things where like one guy removes like some bottom brick of a huge structure and all of a sudden everything collapses.
Yeah, it's that guy that loses in Jenga. That's what he is.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's that guy.
I have this awesome version of Dare Jenga, Andre, that I should show you, where every time you remove a piece of Jenga, you have to do a dare. It's really fun.
That's messed up.
Yeah. No, we can do StarCraft stuff too.
Okay, I'll take that.
It's fun.
Another Zergling run by. You know, I can't stress how important it is to have Zerglings out on the field always, because you need Zerglings to keep up with the mobility of Protoss at this endgame stage. You see Lowely is just chilling here. Yeah. I think it's safe to say Lowely has the big advantage right now, just having this massive advantage.
16 Broodlords on.
Yeah, 16.
25 Infestors.
16 Broodlords, 25 Infestors.
25 Zerglings, 25 Overlords.
Oh my God, it's a sign.
It's a. It's way too much. Mana is giving up too much space. The creep pushing effectively shuts down any ability for him to counter push. Mana does have room for Vortex, but I mean, he's still got to deal with the massive, massive wall of Lowely. And now he's cornering him to one spot. Lowely's sectioning off, gets a fungal. He needs to get a couple more fungals. He can also neuroparasite the mothership. Oh, but feedback preventing him from moving any forward. That's a good engagement thus far from
God,
Mana.
No, Lowely. No, Lowely.
Not a single Broodlord was left untouched, and all of a sudden he gave up so much mana. Are you really going to do this? Oh no, they're all pushing. The Archons can access. The Archons have access.
What?
You where? That is off the map. How are they even doing
Oh my God!
No way! Are you kidding me? Wow.
All right, well,
Archons literally went off the map to kill.
That was a good game.
Man, that was LeBron James extension.
That was a very
Archons
good game.
like extended one arm, they're like, just barely get sucked in. Holy cow, Mana able to pull this game from the depths. Lowly 16 Brewers, 25 Infestors. And yes, even the 25 Zerglings went down as well. No way.
Frodan.
Mana, he's got full control. I mean, Lowly can't remake an army like that quickly. Sure, he's got the resources, but he doesn't have time. Mana saved almost everything. He feedbacked the Infestors. He kept the mothership alive. He's got another Vortex, again, coming up soon. This list is ridiculous. Mana now able to push in. The top left expansion is done. Lowly re-migrating. Mass exodus to the top center of the map. One Archon says, oh, I got this. I was going to hunt down this expansion, but there's so many spine crawlers. Lowly will probably make one final stand. He's got a few more Broodlords and Infestors, but the Infestors don't have energy. He's got enough for one set of fungals. He might be able to engage, but I mean, Mana's even got 4 Colossus. This spine crawler wall is useless. Mana doing the impossible. Lowly fungling and buying some time, but how much time will we be able to get? He's making some Banelings. Maybe if he drops a Baneling with an Overlord and crush the entire army with AoE, but is he going to be able to do anything? Storms on the Zerglings. Andre, this is the closing seconds.
They're clumped up again. No!
There's
going to get
Vortex!
No!
Oh, no! Oh, those Broodlords getting caught. More Archons. Archons are pushing forward closer to the Vortex. And Lowly losing the remainder of his units is going to be devastating. Only less than 100 supply, about to disappear in an instant. And Mana coming back. Oh, I am lost for words. Lowly making 20 Zerglings. And if each of those Zerglings could one-hit structures like that one Zergling did, and maybe, but this last base, Mana's got his eyes set on the prize. A few more Colossus coming out.
Oh my God!
But I am blown away. Mana with able to salvage an unwinnable situation, pushing forward. The Colossus doing everything. Mana realizing he has to show some patience, some restraint. He doesn't really have much of an economy. Lowely doing what he can to kill the economy back in the bottom right. Mana has only minerals mining at this point. Only minerals. He's run out of gas, guys. He's got 18 probes. Lowely's got 28 drones and 6 infestors, 8 on the way. But this mothership's gonna get enough energy for another vortex soon.
Frodan, if someone just tuned in right now, this makes Mana look like the sickest 3-base all-inner in the world.
Wow.
I mean, there's nothing more to say, man. This is absolutely crazy. I can't believe Mana actually won this game.
This mothership has just been so destructive. The drones, they can't escape. The remainders, the last few drones of the remnants of Lowely's economy is being shredded, and Mana's just pushing forward. I got one answer for what's for dinner tonight, Andre. It's Broodlords.
Broodlords. Oh my god. Yes. Apparently Mana is the newest Irish chef, man.
This is disgusting, Andre. Mana is still at over 100 supply. Now he's got the bottom rights with economy. Lots of zealots waiting for any kind of Zergling run by. That's it. Mana's done a checkmate. He's going to be pushing forward more and more. Sure, Lowely's got this last batch of last 2 walls of Spore Guards and Spines and Infestors. But Mana has economy while Lowely doesn't. He can mass something while his opponent can't.
That's exactly right. He's going to clear out all the creep tumors, but this is all just a formality right now, Frodan. I mean, Lowely's dead. We know that. I can't believe that.
Lowely's spreading creep at this point.
Oh my gosh.
5 tumors.
He has nothing else to do, man.
He's like, well, I can't drone, I can't inject, I can't, what am I gonna do? Lowely has 47 larvae, but nothing really to spend on. These drones are working overtime, which is something we're very familiar with, Andre.
Frodan, like, I don't even think I need to do an analysis of this game. It's just don't clump up your Broodlords. That's going to be my next trick? No, I'm going to have an email from Lowely saying, can you show me how to not clump up my units? Because he had a 1 game, and he just lost to a 3-base Protoss at like 25 minutes into it.
Andre, when I was watching the 2003 World Series, the Yankees versus the Diamondbacks, I remember thinking, well, maybe if the Yankees get a double and then a single and then a home run and then someone walks and another triple, another home run, then maybe Yankees can come back into this game. That's what Mana did. He said, well, I'm going to just hit gold, strike gold 3 times in a row with vortexes and another vortex and another vortex, able to get money engagements even after a horrendous series of battles. The last final attempt, feedbacks on the Infestors, another vortex. Why not? Because if 3 isn't good enough, 4 definitely is.
Oh gosh, he is the Oprah of vortexes, man. He just dishes them out like candy.
Wow, just so many vortexes available for everyone. Fungal's actually doing a pretty good job holding down the army, and the Colossus are losing all their shields, but there's really no other further DPS. At this point, Lowely would be better off dropping the Infested Terrans. Talk about being very cost efficient. 1 Archon, 52 kills. 1 Colossus, 105 kills. 70 kills, 90 kills, 72 kills. This is insane. Mana's killed hundreds of units. The units lost tab, Andre. The units lost tab. 675 units have been slain.
You know, you taught me a word for
I feel like I'm watching Mr. Bitter's death count in Dota 2.
Aww.
GG.
You know, you taught me a word for this.
Camera 4.
It's nasty.
That was nasty. That just happened. I can't believe the vortex was literally like off. Like the Archons should not be able, even if Archons had blink, they should not be able to get in that vortex. That was absurd. What a position. What a save.
You know, it's one of those stories where it's like, you ask me, what can Mana do to come back into this? And normally I reply some smart aleck remark like, okay, well, he makes a nuke. And then Lowely puts all of his units in there. Even though he doesn't have a nuke, he still makes it. And then he sets the nuke off on all the units. Lowely remaxes, and they all die too. That's exactly what had to happen. Like, ridiculous. Lowely.
I am absolutely floored,
He's kicking himself. He's kicking himself right now.
It's one of those things where it was, how do I lose from this situation? And you just find a way to clump up everything perfectly. The one instance, we said it's all or nothing, man. In that case, It was all.
Seriously. Seriously.
Guys,
town
thank
will be proud.
thank you so much to iBuyPower, the PC company that powers our broadcast each and every day of the week. Visit them at ibuypower.com. We'll be back with our next series of the day, maybe even to talk more about what just happened. Take a break, guys, because we need to realize we need to collect ourselves. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Bye-bye.
Wow.